Hey everyone, it's Mofat here, and I am bringing you a team deathmatch on Havana. And while I am really proud of this match because it's one of my better ones, today's highlight is the commentary because I am really excited about the stuff I'm going to talk about. I'll start off with some average Black Ops talk here and there, and then I'll go into what's really exciting, but I'll save that for when I get to there because it's a surprise. Alright, anyway, I've been really trying to get better at Black Ops. See, usually I'm focusing a lot on Smash Brothers, but you see, I don't play Brawl that much. It's not my game of choice, so playing on Wi-Fi to get better at Brawl isn't, it's not exactly the thing to do. It really doesn't work all that well, and I don't like Brawl that much anyway. I like Melee better. And Melee doesn't have online, fortunately, so I have to, practice with people. But here in the town I live in, and I do literally live in the middle of a desert, not like the Sahara Desert, but I live in Oregon, so I live in the high desert. If you've ever been in Oregon, in the middle, the middle of Oregon is actually where I live. But anyway, enough of about the detailed locations of where I'm living. I've been trying to get better at Black Ops because it's so much easier to get better at than Melee is, and I like it a lot. And I can really see myself going farther with this game and putting a lot of time into it, a lot of time and effort, and just getting better at it in general. And making a name for myself out there on Machinima Respawn and just on YouTube in general. So I've been watching a lot of CNanners, mostly because I really enjoy CNanners commentary, and I honestly, I never watched CNanners for Black Ops before. I watched him because he did Minecraft, and I was like, wow, this guy is such a great commentator, and I had no idea he did Black Ops. But then I saw some Black Ops vids on there, and I was like, I guess I'll check this out, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is so good at Black Ops. So I started watching more of his stuff to pick up tips and tricks and also listen to his great commentary. And so I've been watching a lot of CNanners and just doing my best to get better at this game in the last week or so. But I guess now that I have talked about that, got that all out in the open, I'm going to talk about what is really exciting. E3 is starting on Monday. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm especially looking forward to the Sony press conference and most of all the Nintendo press conference. As everybody knows, there is a new system coming out from Nintendo. It's called Project Cafe, rumored to be named the Stream, which I think would be stupid, but whatever Nintendo wants to name it, they can name it that because I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna love it, just like I did with 3DS. A quick little side story here. I knew the 3DS launch was going to fail, and not that the 3DS is a failure in of itself, it's just kind of starting slow, but I knew the launch was going to be really lackluster, and when I saw the launch lineup, I just kind of face-palmed, and not so much because I knew the launch wasn't going to do well, but because I knew I was going to buy a 3DS anyway. So there's a little story for you there. But anyway, back to E3. Project Cafe, Nintendo's new system. Here's what I'm thinking we're going to get concerning that, and I will tell you right after I take a drink. Ah, that was good. Alright, so now that I've taken my drink, I'll start talking about Nintendo and E3 again. So, Project Cafe, what they're going to do is they're going to announce their big, gigantic launch title for Project Cafe, and they're going to be announcing all the smaller but equally heavy-hitting launch titles they're going to be having. Like, I'm sure they're going to be having probably 2 or 3 big heavy-hitter third-party titles for Project Cafe at launch, and they're going to announce their really big one, probably a Mario game, and I'm putting most of my bets on this being a Mario game that is going to be at launch for Project Cafe. Kind of like along the lines of us seeing Nintendo 64's Mario 64 launch. And I'm not by any means saying that we're going to see a game as amazing as Mario 64 was, because we know nothing about this game, and hell, it hasn't even been announced. It's all speculation on my part, but I would bet money that they're going to announce the new Mario game, and they're going to show a trailer for it and give a release date for Project Cafe. They're going to give an exact release date for Project Cafe, and it's going to be the same release date for their new Mario game that they launched the Project Cafe with. I keep saying the Project Cafe and stuff because they don't have a name for it yet. People are calling it Wii 2, the Stream, and there was something. The Feel? That's dumb. They're not going to name it the Feel. Give me a break. But anyway, Project Cafe on launch will have that great game, and I am a firm believer that Skyward Sword is not going to be ported over to Project Cafe, because let me tell you why they ported it over to the Wii. They needed a strong title to show the capabilities of the Wii. Not so much graphics and power-wise, because let's be honest, it's the Wii. But control-wise, they needed something to demo it. So that, along with Wii Sports, demoed the Wii very, very well. Did a great job of demoing what could be done with the Wii, how developers should be using the Wii, and you know, all around just did the intended job and made a great impact. And you know, plus they didn't have a Mario game at launch, they didn't have a Metroid game at launch. All they had was Twilight Princess, and it worked great for them. It was a system seller and did everything they intended to do. But the reason they are not going to put it on Skyward Sword is because the reason they're not going to put Skyward Sword on Project Cafe is because Skyward Sword is a Wii game. It is standard definition, it's got Wii power on it, it's got Wii gameplay, it's very Wii specific. And if they put that on Project Cafe, even though it is backwards compatible with Wii games, it's just not going to have the same effect, because people are going to be looking at Skyward Sword on Project Cafe going, look at these weak little, you know, graphics, and look at all of the stuff you could have done with Project Cafe and a Zelda game, but decided just to go with a simple port. It's just not a good idea, and it's not going to happen. You know, I would bet money on it. This is not going to happen. We're not going to see Skyward Sword ported over to Project Cafe, because it's backwards compatible anyway, so, you know, why not? But anyway, back onto the other stuff that Nintendo is going to be announcing. Retro Studios. Retro Studios has not made a game since Donkey Kong Country Returns, and nobody knows what they're working on. But they're Retro Studios. They're always working on something, and they have never once, and I do mean they have never once made a game that was bad. They just haven't done it. In fact, I think they're incapable of making bad games. Okay, so that may be a little bit biased, but they do make very good games. All the Metroid games are really good, and so is Donkey Kong Country Returns. All great games. So I'm really looking forward to what Retro Studios has out of the gate. And some people are speculating that Retro Studios is going to be making the big, gigantic launch title, and maybe Smash Brothers. And that's speculation, but I do have, from a somewhat reliable source, I guess, that Smash Brothers is being made by Intech. I believe it's Intech. It's the same studio that made Paper Mario, and the new Smash Brothers for Project Cafe is being made by them, rumored. So that would be interesting to see it developed by them. It'd be kind of cool to see a fresh take on it. I mean, Sakurai did everything really great. He did a great job with all 3 Smash games that he made, but you know, it'll be good to get a fresh take on it, and hopefully get a competitive take on it. Because let's be honest, Brawl was not meant to be competitive. I mean, Sakurai even specifically said that Brawl wasn't meant to be competitive. But anyway, speaking of Smash Brothers, we're going to get an announcement for Smash Brothers at E3. We will not get a trailer, not unless we're very lucky. We are going to get an announcement for Smash Brothers at E3, and we're going to get an announcement for the new Zelda at E3. And those are my predictions for E3, and that is all the time I have for this video. And believe me, I would love to talk about E3 for the next 17 hours and tell you guys all about my predictions, but the video is already over. It's gone over already, and I will just keep talking about it next time. Actually, my next video will probably be after E3, so I'll just be talking about the results of it and what predictions of mine came true and stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you to all the new subscribers that are coming to my channel. Really, it means a lot to me, and I will see you guys later.